Hello students, I welcome you all in the online classes of Department of Rachna Sharir Chaudhary Brahm Prakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan. I am your teacher Dr. Amrish Channa. Students, we have already discussed the myology and osteology of the lower limb. So today I am going to start the arthrology of lower limb. The first joint we will discuss today is the knee joint. As you all know that knee joint is the largest synovial joint in our body. This knee joint is formed by the articulation of three bones: the femur, the bone of the thigh, the tibia, the one of the bone of the leg region, and the third bone is patella, this one. More precisely, we can say that the knee joint is formed by the articulation of the lower end of the femur, that is the two femoral condyles, the medial femoral condyle and the lateral femoral condyle, and the upper part of the tibia, which is also called as the condyles, the medial and the lateral tibial condyles, and this patella bone. So the articulating surfaces of the knee joint includes the two femoral condyles and the superior aspect of the tibial condyles and the posterior aspect of the patella. Please pay attention to this diagram. This is the femur bone, this one is the patella, and this is the tibia. So these are the two condyles of the femur. This is the anterior view of the left knee joint. This one is the fibula, which lies on the lateral side of the tibia. So these are the two condyles of the femur. This one is the lateral condyle and this one is the medial condyle of the femur. This one is the tibia bone. This one is the lateral condyle of the tibia, and this part is the medial condyle of the tibia. So this superior surface of the tibia and these two condyles participate in the formation of knee joint. Students, you all know that the synovial joint, all the synovial joints are characterized by some common features like hyaline cartilage. The articulating surfaces of the synovial joint is covered by the hyaline cartilage. The synovial joint is covered by the fibrous capsule, and the fibrous capsule is lined by the synovial membrane. That synovial membrane secretes the synovial fluid, which reduces the friction between the two articulating bones. Each synovial joint has a joint cavity, and that joint cavity is surrounded by the fibrous capsule. The fibrous capsule is reinforced by some structures. These structures are usually the muscles, the tendons of the muscles, and the ligaments which are surrounding the joint. Student, please pay attention on this diagram. This diagram shows the reinforcement structures related to the knee joint. you can see these muscles. These are the muscles of the anterior compartment of the thigh. These are the quadriceps femoris muscle. So the knee joint is anteriorly reinforced by the muscles, tendons of the quadriceps femoris muscle. That is the vastus medialis muscle, vastus lateralis muscle, and the vastus intermedius muscle, and the rectus femoris. So the tendons of these four muscles jointly forms the quadriceps femoris tendon. On the lateral side, you can see this structure. This structure is iliotibial tract. So this fibrous capsule is reinforced on the lateral side by the iliotibial tract. On the medial side, this fibrous capsule is reinforced by the sartorius muscle, gracilis muscle, and the semitendinosus muscle. The tendons of all the three muscles, sartorius, gracilis, and semitendinous, supports the fibrous capsule from the medial side. Now look at this diagram. This is the posterior view of the knee joint. The knee joint is posteriorly supported by the semimembranosus muscle and the biceps femoris muscle, the two heads of the biceps femoris muscle. Now we will discuss the ligaments of the knee joint. There are mainly three ligaments associated with the knee joint. The first one is the patellar ligament. The second one are the medial and lateral collateral ligaments. The medial collateral ligament is also called as the tibial collateral ligament, and the lateral collateral ligament is also called as the fibular collateral ligament. And the third ligament, which is very strong ligament, very important ligament, which is related to the knee joint, is the cruciate ligament. The cruciate ligament is again are two in number, the anterior cruciate ligament and the posterior cruciate ligament. So please pay attention to this diagram, this picture. This is the patellar ligament. This one is the patellar ligament. In this diagram picture you can see this patellar ligament. This is the quadriceps femoris tendon. These two are the quadriceps femoris tendon, this one and this one. So we can say that patellar ligament is basically the continuation of the quadriceps femoris tendon, inferior to the patella, and it is attached above to the margins and apex of the patella, and below it is attached to the tibial tuberosity. This is the tibial tuberosity, which lies on the anterior aspect of the tibia. Here, this is the tibial tuberosity. The second ligament is the fibular collateral ligament. This one is the fibular collateral ligament in this picture. It lies on the lateral side of the knee joint. It connects the femur to the fibula. That's why the name is given as the fibular collateral ligament. This fibular collateral ligament is cord-like. It is not a flat ligament, it is a cord-like ligament. This fibular collateral ligament is attached superiorly to the lateral femoral condyle, just above the groove of the popliteus tendon. you can see this tendon, popliteus tendon. So this popliteus tendon passes from the groove which lies on the lower part of the lateral femoral condyle. So this ligament, femoral collateral ligament, is attached just above the groove for the popliteus tendon in the femur bone. On the lower side, it is attached to the lateral surface of the fibular head. This one is the fibula bone and it is attached to the fibular head. Now please look at this diagram. This picture clearly shows the tibial collateral ligament. This one is the tibial collateral ligament. This inverted Y-shaped ligament is the tibial collateral ligament. You can see that this tibial collateral ligament is not like a cord, but it's a flat. It's a flat ligament, unlike the fibular collateral ligament, which is cord-like. This tibial collateral ligament is flat. This tibial collateral ligament is attached superiorly to the medial femoral condyle, just inferior to the adductor tubercle, and on the lower side it is attached just behind the semitendinosus muscle, tendon of the semitendinosus muscle, on the medial surface of the tibia. As I told earlier that the sartorius, gracilis and semitendinosus tendons are attached to the medial surface of the upper part of the tibia. So just behind the tendon of the semitendinosus muscle there is attachment of the tibial collateral ligament. So the sequence of the structures on the upper part of the medial surface of the tibia from anterior to posterior side, we can say the sartorius, gracilis, then semitendinosus and the tibial collateral ligament. One slip of the tibial collateral ligament is attached to the fibrous capsule. Now the third ligament, which is a very strong ligament, is the cruciate ligament. As I told earlier that cruciate ligaments are two in number, anterior cruciate ligament and posterior cruciate ligament. You can see in this diagram, in this picture, anterior cruciate ligament, and this one is the posterior cruciate ligament. The name given to the anterior and posterior cruciate ligament is on the basis of its attachment on the tibia bone, not on the femur bone. The ligament which is attached on the anterior side of the tibia bone, on the anterior part of the superior surface of the tibia bone, is called as the anterior cruciate ligament. And the ligament, the cruciate ligament which is attached on the posterior side of the superior surface of the tibia bone, is called as the posterior cruciate ligament. So this ligament is posterior cruciate ligament. Cruciate means cross, means these ligaments make a cross to each other. You can see that these two ligaments make a cross to each other. The anterior cruciate ligament this anterior cruciate ligament runs upward. You can see it runs upward but backward. It runs upwards and backward and is attached to the lateral femoral condyle. And this posterior cruciate ligament runs upwards and forwards and is attached to the medial femoral condyle. This anterior cruciate ligament prevents anterior displacement of the tibia, and the posterior cruciate ligament restricts the posterior displacement of tibia. The next important feature of the knee joint is the presence of meniscus. These are the two meniscus of the knee joint, the medial meniscus and the lateral meniscus. This one is the lateral meniscus and this one is the medial meniscus. These are the C-shaped fibrocartilaginous ring which lies on the superior surface of the tibial condyles, the medial condyle and the lateral condyle. So medial meniscus lies on the superior surface of the medial condyle of the tibia, and the lateral meniscus lies on the superior surface of the lateral condyle of the tibia. The meniscus, the inner border of the meniscus is thin in comparison to the outer border of the meniscus. So the slope of the meniscus is from outside to inside, and there are two ends or horns of the meniscus. Each meniscus has the anterior horn and the posterior horn. This is the anterior horn of the lateral meniscus. This one is the posterior horn of the lateral meniscus. If you see the relation of these structures on the superior surface of the tibia, you can see that most anteriorly there is anterior horn of the medial meniscus Just behind the anterior horn of the medial meniscus, this structure lies. This is cruciate ligament, the anterior cruciate ligament. Just behind the attachment of the cruciate ligament, there is anterior horn of the lateral meniscus. Just behind the anterior horn of the lateral meniscus, the posterior horn of the lateral meniscus lies. Behind the posterior horn of the lateral meniscus, it is the posterior horn of the medial meniscus, and most posteriorly it is posterior cruciate ligament. So what is the importance of these meniscus? These meniscus gives some depth to the shallow surface of the tibial condyles. Plus, these meniscus improve the congruency between the femoral and tibial condyles. So students, today we have discussed some important aspect of the knee joint. If you have any query, doubt, you are free to ask me through email or WhatsApp. Thank you.